Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to episode 5 of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Last time we barely managed to get things questioned because we found something in the muffler of Edgeworth's car. Let's boogie. Mr. Wright?
Huh? What?
Are trials always like this with you? Like you're swimming up from the bottom of a lake about to reach the surface. But no matter how hard you paddle, you never seem to get there.
Pretty much, except today we're swimming in quicksand. So what happened to your sister anyway?
Apparently she got called off to the judge's chambers.
Probably something to do with that piece of cloth.
So, this is where we turn this trial around, right? Our only weapon, a tiny, insignificant piece of cloth.
I'm the one who's starting to feel tiny and insignificant, to tell the truth.
Hola, partner. Why is he here? They say you show red cloth to a bull will fire up its temper. I think it's less to do with the cloth, but more the red. I don't remember the details. That's what they told me when I was a youngin', at least. Officer Marshall! Thought I'd come take a look, see how the trial's going. Looks like I'm late. And they got the home ranch locked down tighter than a fort in enemy territory.
That hard to slip out, huh? What is going on over there anyway? All the police I've seen the last 2 days have been really on edge.
Don't you got enough on your plate without worrying about other people, compadre? You should be worried about the chief prosecutor's taste in mufflers, for example. Officer Marshall? The whole muffler thing didn't have anything to do with scarves. She wasn't even wearing a scarf.
You don't say. And now, don't that just beat all?
I've seen the red breeze blow at her slender neck many a time. I saw it that day, too. And she was wearing a red muffler. What? At the award ceremony that afternoon. Edward seen it too, I'd reckon.
What does it mean? In the photograph taken at the crime scene, she wasn't wearing a scarf.
So, Miss Starr wasn't mistaken. Well, yeah, it's about time. Remember, partner? Sometimes you gotta grab the bull by the horns, and sometimes you gotta let that bull go where it will. Time will tell.
Ugh, I have a bad feeling about this.
So, what are we swimming in now, Mr. Wright? If it's steak sauce, I can hook you up with some fine ribs. Ooh, wait. Let's do it. I'd like to resume?
What's up? The judge keeps looking over at the prosecution.
Is something wrong, Mr. Edgeworth? Your face is blue, your lips are purple, you're sweating bullets. That furrowed brow, those grinding teeth, those watery eyes, what's more, your eyes are in focus, you're doubled over, your back is bent.
It can't be. This can't happen.
I wonder what happened to Mr. Edgeworth. Well then, I believe it's time we continue on with this trial. During our recess, I had requested that the prosecution conduct an investigation.
This is unacceptable.
Huh. It seems our prosecutor is quite beside himself. Excuse me, knock knock? Who's there? Who the fuck is this guy?
What's with this guy? Strange stuffy aura seems to be filling this courtroom.
Hey, the temperature rose 5.7 degrees when that man came in.
Who on earth is he?
It's you! Who the fuck is this dude?
Sorry I'm late, Angie. The roads were packed, it's just me. Long time to see, Angie. Yeah, you been so much these days?
Hello, no, I've been so busy.
Busy, schmizzy, Angie, my boy. You have to make time to relax.
Yes, indeed. Udgy seems to be his nickname for the judge.
I'm afraid you're right. Very afraid. Yes, sorry, but who are you?
So you're right, the attorney. I've heard good things about you, son.
Thanks?
Yeah, so sorry about our little worthy giving you all that trouble, eh? You know, we shall go swimming together sometime. Jolly. Who is this man and why does he have a red cross?
Little worthy? Mr. Wright.
You don't know the district chief of police?
Chief of police.
He's a top-ranking police officer in the entire district. Why does he have April Mays?
Name's Gant. Damn it, Gant. Nice to meet you, everyone.
What do we owe this honor today? It's been over 2 years since you last came to this courtroom, hasn't it?
Well, it's worth it. Look at the poor fella. I just thought I'd help out.
And bring in this.
Hey, that's...
My sister's muffler.
So Miss Star wasn't just seeing things. When the crime occurred, Miss Sky really was wearing that muffler.
Yeah, but to think that was stuffed into that exhaust pipe.
My little worthy's car, no less.
It's really quite embarrassing, even for us.
What's this?
It's what you'd call a switchblade knife. Quite perplexing, this.
Chief, what kind of outfit are you running?
Mr. Edgeworth,
how could they miss such a vital piece of evidence? If you're investigators or this lax, how do you expect us to do our job?
Now wait a minute, Worthy.
I have no desire to hear your excuses. I'm telling you to wait.
Or didn't you hear me?
This is intéressant.
But look at this document. When they say person in charge of investigation, there's no mistaking that signature, is there? Miles Edgeworth.
That's not fair. On the day of the crime, I had...
Your head in the clouds because you got that award? I know how you feel. But you're the person in charge. I'll expect a written apology.
What? You serious?
Don't be too upset. We'll find a way to clean up this mess that you made. This is the first time I've seen Mr. Edgeworth at a loss for words.
This kind of major blunder is unlike you, Mr. Edgeworth.
Also, like, someone did get murdered in his car. Like, why are we like, yeah, let's give it to that guy?
The court accepts this new evidence, but I'd like to ask the defense a favor first. Yes? Just to be sure, I'd like to take a look at the blade of this knife. Blade, Your Honor? Well, I don't see why not. Could you open it up for me, I wonder? Yes, well, I think all you had to do is push that switch and... If I cut my finger, Miss Wright, I wouldn't be able to pound my gavel anymore. Yeah, but if I cut my finger, I wouldn't be able to point it at people anymore.
You aren't losing the finger. It's not gonna decapitate. It's not gonna chop it off. Come on, just hurry up and open it. Why are they getting us to open this? This is weird. Also, I clicked nothing. Don't scare me like that.
I'm the one who's scared.
Look at this knife blade. The tip is broken off.
And this dark red stain. Blood? This does not excuse the actions of the police department. I would like to hear an explanation from the chief of police himself.
I'm terribly sorry, but could I ask you to testify for us? About the split between the prosecutors and the police and this knife?
Oh, sure thing. Not a problem. Not even a little one, really.
Gant is actually kind of interesting. Like, I am very curious about him. The red cross is bothersome, though.
The knife is special. Can't say how here unless there's evidence between a connection between this knife and Goodman. That was a bad day for the department. We were in any shape to do an investigation. Detective was killed at the police department. See, what a mess. Time of the crime, 5:15. Scary coincidence, eh? It's not officially linked to this case here, so I can't talk much about it. What the fuck? There was a murder at the police department? A detective? That's hush-hush information, Judge. We haven't exactly announced it yet. Wait a second. You say 5:15? It's the exact time that Detective Goodman was killed at the prosecutor's office. Did he get these cases mixed up? Order! 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 Anyway, we at the department we're all flustered, as you might as well assume. We're in the middle of a top-secret investigation. Don't tell anyone, okay? I think we understand the police department situation. Well, Mr. Wright, 2 detectives killed at the same time in 2 different places.
The chances of that are really slim, scientifically speaking, of course.
I'd like to exercise my right to cross-examine the witness. Very well, however, keep your questions focused on the case at hand. Why did he give us the knife? That's my question. Excuse me, Special. Hard to come by this particular knife anywhere else. Might that special thing be this little tag? Sorry, Randi, but I can't say that now. Not that. We've established that the knife in Goodman's chest was this knife. Now, why was there another knife at the scene of the crime? That's quite a mystery. And like a mystery, it's wrapped in something. In a muffler. This knife was found at the scene of her crime. I think it makes it connected to the case, don't you think? See, there's a lot of things that go on at the department I can't explain. It's delicate, okay? Sorry, Righto.
Maybe there's something about the knife that'll give us a clue. Let's examine the knife while we can, Righto.
Evidence that links this knife to Detective Goodman. I think perhaps the pieces are falling into place. I should try presenting the piece of evidence that has me stumped all this time. So, how are things down at the department? Hold on. Let's examine that. It's a small tag on the knife, says SL92. What's that supposed to mean? I'm not sure, but it reminds me. DL6? Maybe it's a case number.
That's weird. What? I don't remember where, but I think I've seen that something like that. Something similar to it written on this tag. It wasn't that long ago either.
Maybe you should check.
Okay. Because that's SL9.
Oh, shoot.
Hold on. Okay, what I'm thinking is this is the evidence that is going... Because it's not 675 like we thought. It's SL9. Which is right there. That's what I think. So I'm going to present this, and I'm going to potentially be really dumb.
Wait a second. Aha! Lads, an honest-to-goodness objection. This knife. This has something to do with Detective Goodman.
What do you mean?
An honest-to-goodness, what do you mean from Angie? This is great. Look at the tag on this knife. It says SL92. And this is important. Why? Over here, we also have a memo that was on the body of the victim. What's this? 6 minus 7S 12-2. Your Honor, it's upside down. Upside. The printed name on the memo makes it look like it's right side up. But turn it around and what do you get? Aha! Whoever wrote this note was holding the paper upside down. SL9. That's the same thing that was written on the knife's tag. Order! Order! Well, Chief? Oh, well. I guess the cat's out of the bag. Yeah, you win, Righto. I win? What game is this guy playing? This knife was evidence in a case. It was stolen from the department's evidence room. That was a bad day. We weren't... And then, okay. So this was stolen, and then someone was killed. So this knife was stolen. Yes, but on the day of the murder. It was evidence, you say. Was it in fact a murder weapon? Nice, nice. Good show, little worthy. It was a murder weapon as it happened. It was evidence from a case long since solved. So this knife was stolen on the day of the murder, and it was found in the exhaust pipe of Edgeworth's car. Hard to think there isn't a connection here there. Okay. Let's go through and process everything else, because I can't think of anything. Oh. Oh, okay, this is just going into this. On the same day that a detective was killed in a prosecutor's parking lot, another detective was killed at the police department. That's a fact! Surprising, isn't it, Edgy? I'm at a loss for words. And the perpetrator, do you have a suspect? Well, there was a suspect. Just arrested him, in fact. Just arrested. That was quick. But there's still a lot of unanswered questions. Maybe you could help, Righto. I suppose I could help if you help me by giving me data on your case. Oh, good one. This gets sharp. Okay, here's the deal. I'll tell you one thing and one thing only. Okay, we know the victim supposedly died 5:15. How the victim was killed, we don't have. Or where the victim was found was the police department. So, how the victim was killed. Well, how was the detective killed? How was he killed? Now that's the interesting part. It was what we in the force call stabbing with a knife. Knife? It's exactly the same as Detective Goodman. That's the spare for cooking now. But you know, that's not the only thing that was exactly the same. What do you mean? There were more similarities between the two cases and the cause of death. It seems I'm going to have to press this a bit harder. It's not officially linked. How can you say that there's no connection? How? Because I'm the chief of police. I can't just say anything I please, Righto. You understand? Try to understand, Righto. Well, if you can prove that there's a connection, more power to you. Maybe there's something that ties the two murders together. Whatever it is, I'd better find it. 2 detectives were killed. 5:15. One. Okay. The knife. Take a look at this. Is there anything else? Okay, there's nothing else on the knife. What could connect it? Let's look at our knife. Oh, must be the victim's blood. We've already done that one. Did that restart? Shit. Okay. Hold on. So... press that. We did...
I think I mixed this up. Did I mess up? Okay, so I fucked up. I didn't necessarily need the how the victim was killed. I needed where the victim was found.
So tell me, where was the victim found?
Well, I can't speak on where the corpse was found, but I can say the crime took place in the evidence room at the police department.
The evidence room? Wait a second, I've heard of that.
The evidence room? Didn't he mention that in his testimony just now? The evidence. Knife was evidence in a case stolen from the evidence.
There's a connection between the two cases.
You seem happy, Mr. Wright.
Happy? We just got handed our ticket to go to town on this case. With the link between the two cases established, we finally have some leverage. Now we can get Gant to testify about the details.
Okay, I think now we press this.
Chief, the defense's position is simply this. The connection between these two cases have already been proven. You don't say? Well, out with it, Wright. What's your connection?
Yes, out with it, Mr. Wright.
The connection is the place mentioned in the testimony we just heard. The knife found in the lot was stolen from the police department's evidence room. Not to mention the victim had on him the case number of the knife's evidence tag. And we also know that the detective murdered at the police department was killed in that very same evidence room.
Indeed. There do seem to be too many connections for it to be a coincidence. The amount of time we have to stare at this man before something comes up is just unnerving.
You do make a good point. It took my men 2 days to find out what you deduced right here. Chief, I requested you release your information on the victim at the police department.
See, that's the tricky part. It hasn't been announced yet and all.
Can we get the information? Unofficially? Sure, why not? It's unofficial after all. What? Really?
Who would have guessed? Cooperate, but I can't reveal the name of the victim.
If you're going to tell us a little, why not tell us everything?
Well, case information is sticky stuff. You have to do everything properly.
Oh, well, I guess I might as well try to see what I can get out of him.
What if we get the ID number? Because we have... Here's the thing. The division won't matter, but if the IDs match, if the numbers match, that'll be interesting. Let's try that.
Okay, how about you tell me the victim's ID number? Sure, why not? It's not like you'll be able to tell who it is from that. Of course not. You won't tell me their name after all.
Well, keep a tight lid on ID numbers, so don't go getting your hopes up. Number is... That's the same one that Goodman's ID has. Well, that's quite long, and we have to remember these. It drives me nuts. 8, 2, I can't do it.
You didn't even get the first number right.
Well, Mr. Wright, does this tell you anything?
The ID number?
Yes, because I'm pretty 584-218-2189, yeah.
Actually, it does, Your Honor. It does, I think.
Meaning?
Has to be what I think it is, but what does it mean?
Well, let's hear what the defense has to say. You say the ID number, the detective who was murdered at the police department tells you something. What does it tell you?
Take that!
We had this ID with the same number.
Witness?
What is it, Mr. Wright? You're grinning like a schoolgirl on prom night.
No, I got confused. And this is news? Huh? Just come out with both ends blazing, like you always do. Police, the prosecutor's office. 2 places, 2 detectives murdered at one time. Actually, I happen to have a police ID number here.
Oh, is it yours?
No, Your Honor, I'm a defense attorney, remember? This is the ID of our victim, Detective Goodman. Shame on you, Wright. Personal IDs are top secret. Detective Goodman's ID number is 5842189. And that means what exactly? Huh? Wait, that ID number we heard from the chief earlier. Started with 82. I've forgotten. You didn't even get that first number right again. The number the chief of the police gave us was 5842189. Wait a second, Wright. What does this mean? That's what I want to know. The two ID numbers are identical. In other words, the detective killed in the police department's evidence room was Bruce Goodman. What does our witness think about that? Sharp as a tack, Rhino. Sharp as a tack. Wait, Detective Goodman is our victim. He was killed at 5:15 in the underground parking lot. Yet, Detective Bruce Goodman was also killed at the police department in the evidence room at the exact same time. That's impossible. So what you're saying is the same person was killed at the same time? And in a completely different location? Order! Chief, what does this mean? No. I want to know. What I want to know is, why didn't I hear about this?
This is what my theory is. I think we've had this information the whole time. Died within an hour and a half of 4 p.m. So he was probably stabbed there. Potentially stabbed again. But then it's only one stab wound. My biggest thing is the fact that it does say between 4 and 5:30. Yes, it's top secret. Fine, but I'm the prosecutor in charge of the case.
Now, just wait a second, Worthy. No need to get all flustered. Your Honor, the police department has made a grave error in this case. Wait. I said wait. Or didn't you hear me? The oversight, the grave error, Mr. Edgeworth, they're yours. What? How dare! We informed you yesterday. I believe it was our Officer Meekins who brought you the news. Officer Meekins?
Mr. Wright, where have we heard that name before? Wait, aha!
This guy who also has a hand bandaged up. You don't mean him? According to Meekins, you didn't accept the report. Hard to believe. Your officer, he told me. He said the report had nothing to do with the Lana Sky incident. Detective Bruce Goodman murdered in the police department evidence room. Mr. Edgeworth, the victim's name is written right on the top of the report.
Here's my thing. I understand why people were like, this feels like a massive retcon of Edgeworth's character from Chapter 4. And 1000%. If you were to have said that this had taken place before Episode 4, where he was accused of murder, I can see it. But the fact that this takes place after, it is very odd. And especially knowing sort of the whole, like, rigmarole that then happens following, where he's like, I need to figure out what it means to be a prosecutor, and basically is like, Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth is dead. Then we compare it to this Edgeworth, and this Edgeworth feels more like a duplicate of Von Karma rather than Miles Edgeworth, because Miles Edgeworth has had very good characterization, and this feels like it just takes all of that away. That 100% makes sense to me. Why didn't your officer tell me? Honestly, I'm not sure that officer was capable of making the connection. He did seem challenged. He just looked stupid.
In any case, this is a serious error. Gross negligence of duty on your part, Worthy.
Objection!
Sir, you could have submitted that report this morning to court as evidence. Then God, the amount of staring. No such luck this time, Worthy. Or should I say, unworthy? What? Now, what was the second rule of evidence law,
Well, Mr. Wright?
Huh? Oh, well, it's, unregistered evidence prevented must be relevant to the case on trial. And how is this rule relevant? Normally, you submit a list of evidence to be used in court before the trial. This report wasn't on that list. So, what does this mean? I couldn't submit this evidence until the connection was proven in court.
Again, I feel like just the sheer arrogance that Edgeworth has had kind of makes everything from episode 4 seem irrelevant. I think if this was done... Here's my thing. For Edgeworth, this does not work right here. It doesn't. But then I'm like, when you look at the whole concept of Mia or either Faye's sister being there, and it could have easily been something like having it after or something, and Mia just not being there. Like, I just, especially even going up until into the second game, where it just feels like Edgeworth's like characterization has become so much more cemented. This feels even more just out of place. The connection was just proven by Wright over there. Good job, Wright, my boy.
Huh? I was just doing my job.
No. No. Again, the cocky arrogance doesn't feel like it matches up with 2 months prior being accused of murder.
Seems we've come to the end of this trial. I know you're going through a tough time, Worthy, with all these rumors. You're even in the defendant's chair this past September. I apologize for this terrible lack of due diligence on my part. Mr. Edgeworth, please, just give me 1 day. I'll get to the bottom of what happened. It's the last thing I do.
Again, it fits with episode 3, but it doesn't fit with the events of episode 4. Does that make sense? You better get the results, you better get results this time, really.
You have my profound apologies, sir.
Or Mr. Edgeworth. I don't think there's ever been an error of this series in the history of this court. I'll grant 1 further day as the prosecution has requested.
Would that be sufficient, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Well, whatever your punishment for this is, for your sake, I hope it's not decisive. Very well. Court is adjourned.
That was interesting. Again, I think it's the arrogance. And the only way that I feel like I can make it kind of work into the story is like after all of that, like I feel like a little bit more time and it's just Edgeworth desperately trying to get back to like how he was before. And it's like trying to figure out, and then from here, this is where his downfall occurs. However, I can't really say anything on whether that happens until we finish it. But I think like that's the only way that this can kind of like save itself, where it's just Edgeworth's desperately trying to be like, I need to like not think about that. I need to just like continue on with being a prosecutor. But then it wouldn't make sense for him to kind of go in that Von Karma way, which it kind of feels like he is. Where it's like, I'm going to get the results of a guilty no matter what. And it feels like it's kind of going that way, but it also has this kind of feeling of like the repercussions of what he and Bon Karma have done. Where it's not just like, oh, everyone's on their side. It's like, oh, people are starting to see the cracks and they're like, nope, we are jumping ship. You are not helpful to us anymore. Go fuck yourself. And I think that's kind of what's happening. And I think, like, looking at this as, like, Edgeworth, like, desperately trying to, like, cling to everything before. But then it feels like sort of the lesson and, like, the growth he has in episode 4 isn't there. And instead the growth comes from this episode. I don't know. I don't know.
But I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.